A few days ago, KJ and I embarked on a 4,000-mile journey to Montana, coming from our home in Wisconsin in my diesel Audi Q7 that I bought crashed from auction for $1,500 a couple months ago. More specifically, the destination and the goal is to do some hiking, camping, and exploring in and around the Glacier National Park. But what do you know, things don't always go according to plan, but we'll get to that later. First stop is Badlands National Park in South Dakota, where we spent a night within the park, did some very hot hiking, and decided to head to Wyoming so that we don't have to camp in 90-degree weather.
Really? Wow.
We are in Buffalo, Wyoming, staying at Buffalo Inn. Easy to remember. And we're about to try some buffalo steak. There's a theme. There's the theme I'm picking up on. Here it goes. That looks so fun. Okay, tried bison. It was $40. Bison steak. I needed to try it once in my life. Wasn't worth it. We'll never eat it again. But I needed to try, and for the sake of trying, it was worth it.
I got a salad.
Salad, delicious salad. Yeah, I could buy 3 salads with the amount of money I paid for my bison steak.
And then I got cheesecake. That was really good.
Apple pie, amazing. So if you guys are ever in Buffalo, Wyoming, and this is the Bozeman Trail Bar and Grill or something, thumbs up for sure. Would come again. What a beautiful morning, and it's time to leave Buffalo.
Just 999 miles to go.
Yes. So plans changed, kinda. Instead of going to Montana, which would have been a, I don't know, 5-6 hour drive, we're taking a 14-hour drive to Washington. Yeah. Reason being is that I had bought a motorcycle 2 weeks ago from a Washington Copart located in Graham. I hired a transportation company to come and pick it up. Not only did I expect the bike to be delivered before I even left, I expected it to be delivered a good amount of time before I had left. Yet it hasn't even been picked up, even though it's been 2 weeks since I booked the shipping. It's a company I've used before. First time them being this slow. Since we're gonna be within like 8 hours, I thought that maybe we'll combine this trip with picking up that bike because I'm tired of paying for storage. If you're not familiar, Copart charges, after 3 days of free storage, they charge in increments of $5. First day is $5, second day is $10, 15, and so on and so forth. And at this point, I'm getting charged over $50 per day, which I'm personally just not okay with. And the logistics company is not being of much help. KJ graciously agreed to add this to the itinerary of the trip. See you in 14 hours. All right, the side mission continues. Yesterday, drove the 14 hours. KJ helped out. Made it to, what was it called? Puyallup.
Puyallup.
I feel like there was a Pew. Puyallup.
She said, idiots say it like that. So that sounds about right. Keep saying it.
Puyallup? Puyallup? Anyway, that's what it looks like spelled out. And this is what Google thinks it should be pronounced as.
Puyallup. Puyallup.
We made it here. Harbor Freight is within 15 minutes. Copart is within 20 to 30 minutes, so we got work to do. I love this place. This is it. $240. It requires more assembly than anticipated. All right, so I believe and 15 to 20 minutes later, there we go. Things that seems pretty sturdy. I'm a big fan of the fact that it came with the whatever those things are called, the clamp that stabilizes the receiver and hitch and keeps this thing from flopping around. It seems to be pretty stable. I like it. Yeah, give us a shout. Whoa. It's okay. Now we go to Copart. We have 1 hour before I need to be there to pick it up. There come the motorcycles, and there it is. There it is. It's up ready. Missing a few little things. Having a few little things broken. Yeah, so that's what sucks. That's the reason I got totaled, among a few other things that got ripped off for whatever reasons. Anyway. Alright, she's all strapped down. The only thing I have an issue with is the fact that our tank is loose, so I'm gonna have to try and come up with something to insert over here to hold this thing in place, or maybe just strap that down as well. Okay, a quick 30 minutes later, this is what we have going on. Because when I was moving things in and out of here, this little O connector got damaged, so now I gotta reattach this after I get this guy to unfold so that I can connect the lights. The reason why I need trailer lights is because the bike completely blocks the taillights on the car. Currently the trunk is open, but basically this is what it would look like. All right, we did some very significant reorganizing so that we don't have to rely on our trunk because the trunk doesn't fully open anymore. Obviously, that was kind of anticipated. The lights are on, we should test those. Let's see. Yes, okay, perfect. Both sides are working. That should be good enough. The bike is very well secured. These straps here are optional. I have them going into the loops inside the trunk for the cargo securing in the trunk. Just a little extra security to keep this thing from swaying side to side. I think that just would be the best option. Just in case. The seat is more or less strapped down, should be sufficient. I think we're good to go. Hopefully we don't have to do the entire trip like this. I'm hoping I'll be able to find a spot to stash the bike while we're doing the rest of this trip. Potentially I'll even find a Triumph dealer that I can drop this off at so that they can work on getting us the key and ignition, because that's kind of like a dealer only thing. Actually no, they're gonna charge me too much for the ignition switch. It would be a better idea to buy a used one on eBay. Not gonna lie, this whole Copart situation was more than I kind of expected. We've been here for what, like an hour and a half? Anyway, we got it figured out. We're good. We're gonna look so cool. She agrees, for sure. Mount Rainier, people. That thing is huge.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost.
Okay, so for dinner tonight we have ground Wagyu, I can never say things right. Tacos with ground Wagyu beef, mushrooms, bell peppers and onions, and cheese. And avocado. That makes a big difference. Dinner is served. When it comes to the bike, I haven't really taken a very close look so far, but I have dealt with a similar situation before where somebody has broken the ignition switch to try and steal it, but they then find out that the bike has immobilizer and will not start even if you mess up the ignition switch. So this thing is missing completely. It's just not there. The connector for it is somewhere down there, disconnected, and the entire thing is just missing, which is kind of sad because sometimes you can make the old ones work. I've done that a couple of times. You can kind of tape them up back together and they will work. The good news is that we do have a battery. It's just pretty loose in here, hanging around. The bad news is that I don't think there is an airbox. It's just completely gone. I have no idea why would somebody take it, but why would somebody take the rear seat too? And you know, it is what it is. Chances are we're gonna have water in the fuel tank, which is never good, but again, beggars can be choosers. Outside of that, the bike is in pretty good shape. The tires are excellent, like almost new. Not too many significant scratches, a few missing covers and whatnot. I mean, this is gonna be a very cool bike once it's done. I mean, fully adjustable front and rear suspension, a 1050cc 3-cylinder motor, which is absolutely awesome. I love these bikes. To those of you who are new here, I've actually had multiple Triumphs. I had multiple street triples. I had one speed triple and I sold it, and I've missed it ever since. So that's kind of why I decided to buy one so far away in Washington, and here we are. Slightly unexpected. Didn't expect to go and pick it up, but I think it worked out well enough. I mean, this is a pretty cool campsite, and we wouldn't have found it if we hadn't gone to Copart. So yes, let's carry on with the trip, and we'll try and find a place to stash it, because I really don't want to keep driving around with this thing and just keep worrying about whether or not it's gonna fall off. So far the Carrier is doing absolutely great. I mean, it's perfect. It's good. It does all it needs to do. I mean, we did a little bit of mild off-roading to get to the campsite, and it's held up perfectly well, but as you can see, the rear suspension is just really slammed. The car still handles amazing though, so that's a bonus, and slightly unexpected, but that's where German engineering comes in. All right, we made it out of Washington, which is great because now diesel is a solid $1 a gallon cheaper, and I get to have my concealed carry again because Washington is one of very few states where I'm not allowed to carry. Okay, we're now near Paradise, Montana. I got 2 more hours to go to Glacier, and we already have a campsite picked out. Hopefully that is not full, because it is a first come first serve. Hang on, Triumph. Don't go anywhere. Oh shit. Okay, it's bumper. Yep. Come on there, we're good. Here's our home for tonight. Fun fact, we have camped here once before. 2 years ago. Three years ago, we were in this exact same camp spot with the S4. So this road was a lot more gruesome for that car than this one, but still here I need to watch out for our Triumph riding in the back. They got a little dusty, but it will be fine. Tonight's dinner is green beans with chicken sausage and
Sun-dried tomato pesto.
yes, and egg noodles. Oh, and fresh mozzarella pearls, because we didn't know what else to use them for. And just like that, dinner is served.
You can sleep in the tent tonight.
I get to sleep in the tent. Yes. Driving the going to the Sun Road or highway, whatever it's called officially, which is basically one of the most popular destinations at the Glacier National Park. Just a lot of people like to drive this, which is understandable. It's a fun little road, pretty engaging, considering the fact that there's a 1,000-foot drop down there, and then we have a hike that we are trying to head to. He's walking towards him. Sucks for them because they're trying to head down, and now they're not. That just looks so good. We made it. Unless we choose to. But if we choose to. Initially, KJ wasn't a big fan of going up there.
He's doing it.
But then, as we were coming back down, this little family of three.
the guys with them.
Yeah, the family of three. The girls were going up here. Well, that was enough motivation for Kira to give it a shot.
I love women.
Update of the day. Had excellent hiking. Had a great time. Did end up going to that peak, which I wanted to go to, and we did because we met a lady who was gonna do it with her two little daughters.
Like 6 and 10.
So if a little girl can do it, Kira can do it. And honestly, the little girls, I mean, they're not a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they're just insane.
Like the toughest kids.
Toughest kids. Yeah, if the little girl's 6-year-old girl is not complaining.
Well, she was quietly complaining to her mom.
I love it. I
But
love it.
she's 6, so like I gotta give her some grace.
Yeah,
I gotta give her some
She
grace.
did great. So yeah, good hikes, good times, good vibes, great conversations. We ended up walking with that lady for like 4 or 5 hours. We hiked back together.
Gave them a quick little hitchhiking ride to their car, which was about a mile down the road.
While I was going to go get the car, we got invited to their house, which I think we're gonna spend the night there tomorrow, which is great.
So
Love making the
friendly,
connections.
She's like, I can make you dinner. We've got beer and wine. And I'm like, she's like, I do have a 2-year-old, but I have beer and wine.
But for today, we're heading back to our original campsite, where we had left our tent with a sleeping mat and bags. So just kind of crossing our fingers that they're still there. We had faith in humanity. We decided to leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. It's a relatively, I mean, somewhat used boat launch, so there is definitely people there coming and going, but we'll just hope that we're good. Okay, so far so good, but yeah, it looks like very busy, but should be able to make this work. Okay, chair's still here. Ah, everything's still here. Perfect. And now, because we're feeling mighty gross, we're gonna hop right in. It's probably going to be pretty cold. That's pretty good. It was worth doing. We're gonna feel much cleaner, hopefully. And that was very refreshing.
It was really refreshing.
Almost, I don't feel sore anymore from the hiking.
No, I still feel sick.
The same noodles, the same sausage, but we're using some mixed veggies like corn, carrots, green beans.
What kind of sauce?
Alfredo sauce. That's a big change. Let's see how that goes.
My God, old man has to sit 6 inches from the pan. Bike's looking dusty.
Everything is looking dusty.
Everything.
We were looking dusty before the lake. It was so nice to meet that lady.
I know.
And
I can't wait to see them tomorrow.
yeah, I'm interested in seeing what their house looks like because they're in a country. I'm assuming they might have some land.
But something that was exciting is we were taught by the 8 or the 10 and the 6-year-old what huckleberries are and how those cannot be like mass produced. So they're like super rare, if you will, and that's why they cost like an absurd amount of money per pound when in season. And we found them on the trail, and here's a picture of us trying them. They are super tiny. They were in the blueberry family, and I thought they were really good. The girls have a secret stash at home of huckleberries, and they are going to make us a huckleberry dessert for when we go tomorrow, which is really exciting because I was offering to buy a pie, but dinner is served.
Tomorrow, the plan is to do some kayaking, and yeah, just gonna try and use different body parts because our legs are a little dead.
And a little fun drink for tonight is a Bloody Mary mix.
Yes, just Bloody Mary mix. I don't really like alcohol, but I love Bloody Marys, so we're just doing the mix. I'm excited. So something really cool about this campground that we noticed yesterday is that at night it is so quiet. There's not a cricket. The people camping nearby have been very quiet. That's not very good. 15 psi. Must be a pretty quick leak.
All right, well, we started all the way over there, and I'm hoping to make it to the other edge. Well, we have the kayak for 2 hours. It needs to be returned at 1:30, so as long as we can get there by 12:20. Now that I'm looking at the size of the trees on that side, we can tell that that is significantly further than this is, and we're halfway into.
Maybe we can get to this edge.
Yeah, that edge definitely we can get to. Okay, time for a little break, but look at how clean this water is. That is amazing. And it's a really deep lake too. R.I.P. We got an hour to get back, right to around over there. Let's see if we're gonna make it. So I had filled this up this morning around 8 a.m. and it's only been under 6 hours and we had already dropped down to around 20 psi as opposed to the 49 that it's supposed to be at. So we have a very, very quick leak, which is not good. So we're about to head into the town, the city the lady lives in, whose house we're staying tonight, and we're gonna try and find a discount tire. So a fun fact about discount tires is that they will fix tires for completely free. But if they can't fix it by the book, meaning that the puncture isn't too close to the sidewall, or if the tire just is way too worn to worry about fixing it, they will not do it and try and sell you a new tire. Welcome to Kalispell, Montana. Got some presents for Catherine and her family, and let's head over there. All right, so here's the update. Got the car back. Unfortunately, no real work was done on this. As it turns out, the front left is leaking due to some rocks getting onto the bead and kind of not making a good seal with the wheel or the rim. Now, the issue with the back tire is pretty much the same. That's why it's leaking, but unfortunately, they can't fix it because, as it turns out, we have some insane camber wear, which honestly is not surprising considering the amount of squatting the car is doing right now with a bike on the back. To be expected, but honestly, I am pretty blown away by how fast that tire got chewed. Something worth mentioning is that they are cheap tires. This is the tire that came with this car, and they're Lexani all-terrains. Not really a reputable brand. I think they're like $100 new. Now, my options were to buy tires through Discount Tire where I had brought the car,
and pay them like $300 per tire for each of the rear ones, because both of them have the same camber issue. I could have them rotate the rear wheels to the front and front to the back. That way I'll get another about 2,000 miles out of the set, which doesn't really work for us because they won't really fix the leaky tire, and I don't want to deal with filling the tire twice a day, if not more. So instead I did my favorite thing, and I went on Facebook Marketplace and I started looking for our tire size. I've already sent one message. I found a good deal on a good set that should last us. I'm buying all 4, that way I can get back home on the first 2, and assuming that they have the same amount of camber wear, by the time I get back I'll just have the other 2 to throw on there. Considering the amount of towing and heavy hauling I've been doing with this thing, I think we should try and beef up our rear suspension so that the car does not squat as much, because it is a little too far. Handling is still great, but alignment isn't. Alright guys, excellent news. As you can see, we have some tires. Paid $400 for a set of very slightly used Falcon Wild Peaks, which is a pretty solid, reputable tire. Should work great and be a bit of an upgrade to what we have now. And they're still all-terrain, so we can be relatively confident when going off-road. If you think about it, these with installation are going to be cheaper for all 4 than the 2 tires directly from Discount Tire would have cost. So perfectly happy with that. Just a matter of going back to Discount Tire to get these installed. We're going to do all 4 because the sidewall is significantly thicker. 10% increase, which would be significant for Quattro. We don't want to ruin that by running differently sized tires front and back, so we're going to do all 4. Each street I go to, it's just amazing. The views are gorgeous, the houses are gorgeous, the properties are the stuff I dream of. Something I'm starting to get really concerned about is the fact that I didn't realize that these tires are already pretty oversized for this car, and having gotten a new set with a thicker sidewall might be an issue, considering how little space we have here, how little space we have up there. It's not rubbing at all at the moment, but there might be some significant rubbing with the new tires. Granted, I am thinking to lift this car once we get back. I think it's time. This current stance is just not something I'm cool with long term. Right, yeah, worst case. It is manageable. I did a tiny drive from the parking lot, and we do have some rubbing, 100%, but seems like it's in the back, just on the fender liner, which I'm okay with. Fender liner, we don't really care about. Easy enough to fix and replace. As long as we're not rubbing on any metal that's going to puncture the tire and make it blow out, I am satisfied. Like, this part ripped out on this trip, so we're already missing half the fender liner in here. So first thing we're gonna do is get rid of this guy. Okay, so I guess let's just go drive and see what happens. Ignore the tire noise, because we have been for the last almost 100 miles. The good part about that is that we did make it 100 miles despite the new leak. Once again, yes, we once again have a leaky tire, but this time we have warranty with Discount Tire, so we can always bring it back. And honestly, even if it wasn't that, like, let's say it has a puncture that cannot be fixed, we will get a free tire out of that. I haven't really given you guys a rundown of how it went with the family we stayed with, and I mean, I wish I could record it all and put it and show it to you guys how unbelievable this experience was.
Like, I'm ready to go home because I don't think anything of this trip could be better than like the time we spent with them.
Absolutely. I mean, we never clicked with people this well. Great children, great wife, great husband. We
didn't really interact with the husband too much because he just came to
I
town.
was home for like an hour and then we're like, we do have to get going. This is super sad. We do have dogs, like we will need to go back too.
The campground is coming up right around this corner. We're about to see whether or not we're gonna have a place to sleep tonight.
I think we picked a favorite because the views are amazing. Now that we're on the way back of this hike, we're calling it. We're actually gonna start heading home. We have a few things to tend to, like our very leaky tire. Third day in a row spending in Discount Tire. And this time the news are worse than ever. We have a cracked wheel. So I'm guessing at some point on the gravel trails and whatever else, we cracked the wheel. And that's what's leaking, and it's leaking at a rate of about 10 psi an hour, and that is very inconvenient for a 20-hour drive that we have to do. This Discount Tire doesn't have the right size wheel for us in stock, so not really an option. I thought about going on Facebook Marketplace, but just don't want to deal with that because then I'll have to have them remount the tire and all this. So I think we're gonna run over to Staples, buy some crazy glue, and glue our wheel to the best of our ability. We're gonna do that at the hotel. So I'll let you in the hotel, you go hang out, and I'm gonna go be miserable in the rain. Package secured. Unfortunately, Discount Tire wasn't kind enough to let me super glue the wheel while they have the tire dismounted, which would have helped me a ton, but oh well. And here goes our crack. That is pretty bad. I mounted up the wheel without inflating it or lowering the car. We're gonna do that tomorrow because we need the glue to cure for as long as possible. I torqued the lug nuts, and at this point we just wait and observe. Well, it took exactly 1 hour, just like before, to drop enough for the TPMS light to be okay, so yeah, we're just gonna be filling up tires once an hour. And surprise, surprise, my left tire is also flat now, which just makes this situation even more hilarious. And just like that, guys, we're back at the shop, back at work, to work. Now, here's some closing thoughts. Yes, we did run into some issues with the Q7, but we also made it do some stuff that it wasn't really meant to do. Now, here's what's gonna be happening next. I've already purchased and received the new ignition cylinder with all of the locks. Looks like we do have some sort of a control module here. I don't know if the ECU is gonna need to be coded to this guy. Pretty sure this is our immobilizer, actually. We have all of our locks for the fuel tank, the actual ignition switch, the seat lock. We got 2 keys. So there's a slight chance that I could plug this in right now and at the very least turn on the ignition and see how many miles we have. But I'll definitely need to, at the very least, replace this so that the bike actually starts, and then potentially have the dealer code our ECU to this immobilizer because potentially they do need to be paired together. But I think that we're gonna see in the next video about this bike. When it comes to the Q7, after this trip, I really want to lift it because there's definitely something off with our right side. It already had a rebuild title from back in 2016, and we can definitely tell that this has been fixed before because there's cracking Bondo. Right over here, there is already completely deteriorated Bondo down there. So this thing has definitely been in some pretty significant accident on our passenger side, and that most likely has something to do with the fact that we're only rubbing on the right side, not the left, and the fact that I can visibly tell that this side is sitting differently from the other side. In the original video on this car, some of you guys thought that I have a cracked spring or like a broken spring. I do not. I've double checked that, triple checked that, but I'm almost positive there's some sort of other issues with the suspension, potentially a bent control arm, something like that. But in the end, all that really matters to me is how this car is doing mechanically with the motor, with the trans, and that stuff is just absolutely flawless. We didn't get a check engine light, we didn't get any kind of misfires. This thing has been chugging along perfectly well, and I am very satisfied with this car so far. Which is why I think it's worth putting in some money into this thing, try and make it a little better, a little more capable for the things I'm using it for, like all the towing, traveling, and even a little bit of off-roading. And to those who haven't seen the previous videos on this car, it is already deleted. It has no DPF, it has no EGR, it still has a cat, but the AdBlue has been deleted and it has a stage 1 tune. The motor has been absolutely perfect. I have been very happy with this car. And before we officially wrap this video up, let's just try and see if we can get this bike to run. There is a slight chance that the ECU doesn't have to be programmed, and we can just replace our immobilizer here. There we go. Okay, so that's the old one. The part numbers are the same. That is perfect. And then we plug in our ignition cylinder. Our battery is definitely completely dead. Okay, the jump starter is connected. So now we have power. Turn on the ignition. Yes! Lights turn on. This thing has 38,000 miles. Looks like we've got some fancy turn signals. That's cool. We can turn that off. I don't think the immobilizer light is lining up, so potentially it's going to start. You guys ready? Okay, maybe it's not going to start. So I have these two probes connected to a battery, and when I connect this here, you guys can hear the solenoid clicking. So this actually works, which means that the ECU or something else in the motorcycle system doesn't want to activate the starter, and that's why we're not starting. So the starter solenoid is good, the issue is somewhere else. So let's try and use a second jump starter directly over here, sending power to the starter. Well, it seems like fixing this bike isn't gonna be as easy, so you guys are gonna have to stick around, subscribe to catch the next video on this bike, and in that video, hopefully we're gonna get a good ride in and see how this bike is doing with 38,000 miles. For a little while, I was really hoping to keep this bike to make it my personal long-term bike, but that is a lot of miles, so I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know how you feel about this style of a video. I don't really do a lot of trips on this channel. So if you enjoyed this, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you think you have something good to say. Thank you, and have a good day.